Tonight, Jesus and Archangel Michael sent a warning for you. And if you ignore this message, you may miss the blessing heaven prepared for your life. There's a reason your soul stopped on this video right now. Michael says something is about to change around you tonight, but only the people who stay until the end will understand the sign heaven is showing them. So don't skip this message, because what Jesus reveals in the final moments could completely change your future. My beloved child, tonight is not ordinary. Something unusual is happening around your spirit right now. Heaven has been trying to reach you all day long, through signs, through feelings, through moments you could not explain. And now, through this message, Jesus is standing before the gates of light, and Archangel Michael is beside him with a sword shining brighter than fire itself. And both of them are saying the same thing. Do not leave us tonight. My child, listen carefully. This message was not randomly placed before your eyes. Out of millions of videos, your soul stopped here for a reason. Because heaven saw your exhaustion. It saw the nights where your heart felt heavy for no reason. The moments you smiled in front of others while secretly breaking inside. The silent prayers you never spoke aloud. Jesus says, I heard every one of them. Right now, there is movement happening in the spiritual realm around your destiny. Things that were frozen are beginning to move again. Doors that stayed closed for years are beginning to shake. But Archangel Michael says, if they walk away now, they may miss the instruction heaven prepared for them tonight. My beloved, there is a reason you feel different lately.
You have been feeling disconnected from certain people, restless in your spirit, pulled away from old habits, sensitive to negative energy around you. That is because heaven has started separating you from the season you are leaving behind. You're not crazy. You are transitioning. Jesus now steps closer and speaks gently. My child, I know you've been tired. I know there were moments you almost gave up, but I never left your side. Even during your darkest nights, heaven was still protecting your future. Do you understand? Some things had to fall apart so your destiny could come together. Some people had to leave because they could not go where heaven is taking you next. Some delays happened because your blessing needed the perfect timing. Archangel Michael raises his sword toward the heavens and declares, the darkness around this child is weakening. At this moment, chains you cannot see are beginning to crack. Fear is losing its grip on you. Confusion is starting to leave your mind. And heaven is preparing to reveal something that could shift your entire future. My beloved child, tonight carries a spiritual weight unlike anything before. This is why your spirit feels pulled toward this message. This is why you cannot fully look away. Because deep inside, your soul recognizes this moment. Jesus says, tonight, I'm calling my child closer to me. Not tomorrow, not next month, tonight. Heaven does not want perfection from you. It wants your attention. Archangel Michael now speaks with urgency. Tell them not to leave yet. The breakthrough they prayed for is closer than they realize. My child, there is something important you must understand. The enemy attacked you so heavily because your future carries something powerful. Ordinary people are not attacked the way you were attacked. The confusion, the setbacks, the emotional exhaustion, the sudden disappointments, none of it was random. Darkness recognized the light heaven placed inside you long before you recognized it yourself. But tonight, heaven is fighting back for you. Jesus says, my beloved child, your story is not ending in pain. I am rewriting the next chapter of your life. Can you feel it? That warmth in your chest, that pressure behind your eyes, that strange peace slowly entering your spirit. That is heaven touching your soul. Do not scroll away tonight, because the next part of this message contains a revelation about your destiny that was hidden from you for years. Archangel Michael says, if they remain until the end, the first seal over their future will begin to open. And Jesus responds softly, my child, tonight is the beginning of your restoration. My beloved child, stay with me tonight because heaven is not finished speaking to you. Right now, something invisible is unfolding around your life. Even though your eyes cannot fully see it yet, your spirit can feel it. Archangel Michael is standing guard over your destiny at this very moment. His sword is raised high above you, and the light flowing from it is cutting through forces that try to delay your future. And Michael says, "They have cried enough. They have waited long enough. Tonight, heaven begins to move on their behalf." My child, there were moments when you truly believed nothing would ever change. You tried to stay hopeful. You tried to remain strong. But secretly, your soul became tired. Tired of disappointment. Tired of repeating the same battles. Tired of praying for answers that seemed delayed. But Jesus says, "My beloved child, I never ignored your pain. I was preparing something bigger than what you imagined." Listen carefully now. There are blessings that arrive quickly, and there are blessings heaven protects until the perfect moment. Your blessing was protected, because if it had arrived too early, the wrong people would have destroyed it. If the doors had opened too soon, your spirit would not have been ready to carry what heaven planned to place in your hands. That is why the waiting season lasted longer than expected. But tonight, the waiting season begins to break. Archangel Michael steps forward and declares, "The first spiritual seal is opening." My child, this first seal contains revelation. For years, confusion surrounded your path. You questioned your purpose. You doubted your worth. You wondered why life felt harder for you than for others around you. But heaven says your struggle was never meaningless. Every painful moment was shaping your spirit. Every betrayal taught your soul discernment. Every delay built endurance inside you. Jesus now speaks with tenderness. "I allowed certain storms because they were preparing my child for elevation." You thought you were being punished, but you were being prepared. Do you understand the difference? Preparation often feels uncomfortable. It feels lonely. It feels confusing. But heaven never wastes pain. Archangel Michael now lifts his sword again, and a beam of golden light spreads across the heavens. He says, "The fog around their destiny is clearing." My child, some people around you were never meant to walk into your next chapter. That is why relationships changed suddenly. That is why certain friendships became distant. That is why your spirit no longer feels comfortable in places you once enjoyed. Heaven has been separating you from environments that could no longer carry your calling. Jesus says, "My beloved child, stop grieving over every closed door." Some doors closed because I was protecting you from destruction hidden behind them. Tonight, heaven wants you to stop blaming yourself for everything that fell apart. Not every ending was your fault. Some endings were divine redirection. Archangel Michael now speaks louder than before. The attacks against them will not continue much longer. My child, darkness tried to convince you that your future was empty. But the truth is this: you are standing closer to breakthrough than ever before. The enemy attacks hardest when destiny is near. That is why your battles became heavier recently. That is why your emotions felt unstable. That is why your mind sometimes felt overwhelmed for no clear reason. Because something powerful is approaching your life. Jesus says, "My child, heaven has not forgotten your name." Right now, angels are moving on assignments connected to your future. People you have not even met, yet are being positioned to help your destiny. Doors you thought were permanently closed are beginning to unlock. Situations that looked impossible are quietly shifting behind the scenes. And soon, you will realize heaven was working the entire time. My beloved child, tonight is not just another night. This is a spiritual turning point. Archangel Michael says, "Tell them not to leave now." The next revelation carries the key to their restoration. Restoration, that word is important, because heaven is not simply planning to comfort you. Heaven plans to restore what pain tried to steal. Your peace, your confidence, your joy, your strength, your hope. Jesus now steps closer again, and his voice becomes softer. "I saw every moment they cried silently. I saw the nights they felt abandoned, and I made a promise to restore what was broken." My child, heaven keeps records of every tear. Nothing you suffered was ignored. And tonight, the process of restoration has already begun. Can you feel the shift? That strange calm entering your spirit. That feeling that something bigger is happening. That tiny spark of hope returning inside you. That is not imagination. That is heaven moving near you. Archangel Michael raises his sword one more time and says, "The first seal has opened. Clarity is entering their spirit. But the second seal carries something even greater." Jesus respondes, "My beloved child, stay with us tonight, because the next part of this message will reveal what heaven is preparing to restore in your life. My beloved child, the atmosphere around you is changing even now. Something in the spiritual realm has started moving the moment you stayed to hear this message. Archangel Michael is still standing beside you tonight, and the fire surrounding his sword is growing brighter. He says, the second seal is ready to open. My child, this seal carries your restoration. Not partial restoration, not temporary healing, complete restoration. Jesus steps forward and speaks with deep tenderness. My beloved child, I know what life took from you. He saw the moments when your heart broke silently, the times you trusted the wrong people, the dreams that collapsed in front of your eyes, the opportunities that disappeared just when you thought your life was finally changing. And tonight, heaven says, enough suffering. My child, there are things you lost that nobody else truly understood. People only saw your smile. They never saw the battles inside your mind. They never saw the nights where anxiety kept you awake. They never saw the moments you questioned your own worth because of everything that happened around you. But Jesus says, I was there during every painful moment. When others walked away, he remained. When your spirit felt exhausted, he stayed close. When you felt abandoned, heaven was still covering your life. Archangel Michael now raises his sword toward the heavens and declares, the second seal is breaking open now. My beloved, as this seal opens, restoration begins entering your life. The peace you lost, heaven is restoring it. Jesus says, my child, I am not only healing your wounds, I am rebuilding your spirit stronger than before. Listen carefully tonight. What hurt you was not stronger than your destiny. The betrayal was not stronger than your purpose. The rejection was not stronger than heaven's plan for your life. You survive because your future still carries divine assignment. Archangel Michael says, the darkness thought they would quit before reaching this moment, but you are still here, still breathing, still listening, still searching for hope. That alone proves heaven never stopped protecting you. My beloved child, there are people who underestimated you, people who thought your story was finished, people who believed your best days were behind you. But heaven says they spoke too soon. Jesus now speaks with authority. I'm about to restore what this child thought was permanently lost. Can you feel the shift happening inside you? That heaviness leaving your chest? That strange peace slowly entering your spirit? That feeling that something bigger is approaching your life? That is restoration beginning. My child, heaven does not restore small things carelessly. When heaven restores, it multiplies. The joy returns greater. The peace returns deeper. The blessings return stronger. Archangel Michael now steps closer and says, there's a restoration list written in heaven. My beloved, your name is written on that list. Every tear, every loss, every sacrifice, heaven recorded all of it. And next to each painful chapter, heaven prepared an answer. Jesus says, there were moments my child believed their prayers disappeared into silence. But heaven was preparing the exact timing for restoration. Timing matters in the spiritual realm. Some blessings arrive only after the soul becomes ready to carry them. That is why your process felt long. That is why your battles felt intense. Because your destiny is heavier than you realize. Archangel Michael lifts his sword again, and lightning flashes across the heavens. He says, tonight, chains connected to their past are breaking. My child, stop carrying guilt from seasons heaven already forgave. Stop blaming yourself for every failure. Stop replaying old pain that heaven is trying to remove from your spirit. You cannot enter your next chapter while remaining chained to your old one. Jesus says softly, my beloved child, release the pain into my hands tonight. Heaven does not want you trapped in regret anymore. A new season is beginning, and this season will not look like the previous one. The sadness that followed you for years is weakening. The confusion that clouded your thoughts is breaking apart. The emotional exhaustion is beginning to lift, because restoration is not just coming, it has already started. Archangel Michael now declares loudly, the second seal has opened completely. At that moment, the atmosphere shifts again, and Jesus says, "My child, the next seal carries acceleration, a supernatural movement that will recover lost time. The delays will not continue forever. The waiting season will not control your future forever, because heaven is preparing to move suddenly in your life." Archangel Michael says, "Stay until the end tonight, because the next revelation will explain why your destiny is about to move faster than ever before. My beloved child, heaven is drawing even closer to you tonight. Can you feel the atmosphere changing? Something powerful has already started moving around your destiny. The moment the second seal opened, the spiritual realm around your future began to shift. And now, Archangel Michael steps forward once again. His sword burns brighter than before, and his voice shakes the heavens as he says, "The third seal is ready. My child, this seal carries divine acceleration. For years, you felt delayed. You watched other people move ahead while your own life seemed frozen. You prayed, you waited, you stayed hopeful, but sometimes your spirit secretly wondered, when will my turn finally come?" Jesus now looks directly at you and says, "My beloved child, your waiting season is coming to an end. Listen carefully tonight. Heaven works differently than the world. The world moves slowly. The world depends on human timing. But heaven can change everything in a single moment. One blessing can erase years of struggle. One opportunity can shift your entire future. One divine connection can open doors nobody else could open." And Jesus says, that moment is approaching faster than you realize. Archangel Michael now lifts his sword high into the sky. A flash of golden light spreads through the heavens as he declares, "The third seal is beginning to break. My child, this seal contains acceleration. What was delayed begins moving quickly. What was blocked begins opening suddenly. What felt impossible begins becoming reality. Heaven is preparing to move faster in your life than ever before." Jesus says, "My child, the years you believed were wasted were actually preparing you for this moment. Nothing you suffered was meaningless. Every difficult season built strength inside your spirit. Every lonely night increased your endurance. Every painful lesson developed wisdom you will soon need in your next chapter." Archangel Michael now speaks with urgency. Tell them not to lose hope now. Their breakthrough is closer than it has ever been. My beloved, there's a reason the attacks became stronger recently. Darkness sensed movement around your destiny. That is why confusion increased. That is why emotional pressure became heavier. That is why fear tried harder to enter your thoughts. Because heaven is preparing to elevate you. And whenever elevation approaches, resistance often increases first. But Jesus says, the resistance will not stop what heaven has already decided. My child, tonight marks the beginning of movement. Things that stayed stagnant will begin shifting. Conversations will happen suddenly. Unexpected doors will begin opening. People connected to your destiny will start entering your life. And situations that looked impossible will begin changing faster than expected. Archangel Michael declares, heaven is restoring lost time. Do you understand what that means? The delays will not define your future anymore. Heaven knows how much time pain stole from you. It knows how long you struggled. It knows how long you carried silent battles. And now heaven says, enough delay. Jesus steps closer again, and his voice becomes calm and powerful. My beloved child, what took years before will not take years anymore. Can you feel the hope returning? That small spark inside your spirit. That feeling that something important is approaching. That sudden sense that your story is not over. That is heaven awakening your faith again. Archangel Michael now points his sword toward the future and says, I can already see the doors opening before them. My child, opportunities are approaching your life even now. Blessings are moving toward you even now. Answers are moving toward you even now, even if you cannot see them yet. The spiritual realm often moves before the physical world catches up. Jesus says, trust the process happening tonight. Do not return to fear. Do not return to hopelessness. Do not speak defeat over your future anymore, because heaven has already started shifting things in your favor. Archangel Michael now says something unexpected. There's another force about to awaken around this child. My beloved, after the 3 seals open, something powerful is released. Something heaven prepared specifically for chosen souls who refuse to give up. Jesus smiles gently and says, my child, tonight you are activating divine attraction. This means you will not need to chase everything endlessly anymore. The right people will begin finding you. The right opportunities will begin locating you. The right doors will begin appearing at the correct time, because heaven is aligning your future. Archangel Michael declares, their spiritual atmosphere is changing. Negativity is losing power over your life. Fear is losing power over your destiny. And soon, even the people around you will notice the difference. Jesus says softly, my beloved child, stay with us tonight, because the final revelation is still coming. The atmosphere grows quieter. The light surrounding heaven becomes stronger. And Archangel Michael says, the next part contains the final message heaven needed this child to hear tonight. My beloved child, if you are still here tonight, heaven wants you to understand something important. You are not brought to this message by accident. Out of all the videos, all the distractions, all the voices fighting for your attention, your soul stopped here. Why? Because heaven knew this was the exact moment your spirit needed to hear the truth. Jesus now steps forward, and the light surrounding him becomes brighter than ever before. He says, my beloved child, thank you for staying. Those words echo through the heavens, because many people walk away before their breakthrough arrives. Many people quit during the final stage of preparation. Many people lose hope moments before the door finally opens. But you stayed, and heaven noticed. Archangel Michael now lowers his sword slowly and says, their faithfulness has opened the final pathway. My child, tonight something invisible changed around your destiny. You may not fully understand it yet. You may not see immediate results tonight, but heaven has already started moving pieces into place for your future. The delays are breaking. The heaviness is lifting. The confusion is fading, and your spirit is beginning to awaken again. Jesus says, my child, the next season of your life will not look like the previous one. Listen carefully now. There are blessings approaching you that you never expected. Opportunities that will arrive suddenly. Doors that will open without struggle. Connections that will feel divinely arranged. And peace that will enter your heart in a way you have not felt for a very long time. Archangel Michael now steps beside you in the spirit and declares, the attacks against their destiny will weaken from this night forward. My beloved, darkness tried to exhaust you before your breakthrough arrived. It tried to convince you that nothing would ever change. It tried to fill your mind with fear, doubt, and hopelessness. But heaven says, you survive because your purpose is still alive. Jesus now speaks softly again. There were moments my child thought they were abandoned, but I was carrying them through every storm. Do you realize how protected you truly were? There were dangers you never saw. Battles heaven fought for you silently. Situations that could have destroyed your future completely, but heaven blocked them before they reached you. That was not luck. That was divine protection. Archangel Michael raises his sword one final time, and a wave of light spreads across the heavens. He says, the chains connected to their past are broken. My child, stop identifying yourself with your pain. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the rejection you suffered. You are not the betrayal you experienced. You are not the fear that tried to control your mind. You are still chosen. You are still protected. You are still carrying a future filled with purpose. Jesus says, my beloved child, from this night forward, begin expecting change. Expect healing. Expect opportunities. Expect restoration. Expect peace. Expect movement in places that remain stuck for years. Because heaven is already working behind scenes. Even now, angels are moving. Even now, doors are shifting. Even now, your future is being aligned. Archangel Michael now speaks with deep authority. The season of survival is ending. A season of elevation is beginning. Can you feel the atmosphere around you tonight? That calm entering your spirit, that hope returning to your heart, that strange feeling that your life is about to move in a new direction. That is not coincidence. That is heaven touching your soul. Jesus now gives one final message. My beloved child, do not lose faith after tonight. Continue walking forward even when you cannot see the full picture yet. Heaven is still working for you. Sometimes blessings begin invisibly before they appear physically. Sometimes heaven shifts your future quietly before the breakthrough becomes visible. And tonight, the shift has already begun. Archangel Michael now places his sword downward, and the light surrounding heaven becomes peaceful. He says, they stayed until the end. The message has been delivered. Now their next season begins. My beloved child, before this message ends, take one deep breath and receive this truth. You're not forgotten. You're not abandoned. And your story is not over. Better days are approaching. Greater peace is approaching. And heaven is still walking beside you tonight. If this message touched your spirit, don't leave silently. Type "men" in the comments and declare that you are ready for the new season heaven is preparing for you. And if you truly believe something good is coming into your life, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement tonight, and subscribe for more messages that strengthen your spirit and bring you closer to heaven. Jesus and Archangel Michael are watching over you tonight. Stay blessed, my beloved child.